A few videos ago, we had learned how to send a tweet, but we could only send text in that tweet. In the next few tutorials, we'll learn how to add photos to our tweets. In this particular tutorial, we'll create a nice toolbar that shows when the keyboard is displayed and hides when the keyboard is hidden. Let me show you. This is how it'll look. And when we send a tweet, this is my first tweet. Press the tweet button. We'll see that the toolbar hides along with the keyboard and we're taken back to the home view controller. And there we can see our tweet in front of us. So let's begin. So come to the main storyboard. Here we have our new tweet view controller storyboard. Here let's control drag a UI toolbar and add it to the bottom. We set the toolbar here. We'll add another button to the toolbar. And we'll add a flexible spacing between the two buttons. This will spread the buttons out to the two ends of the toolbar. Now select the toolbar and add its constraints. Left, right, and bottom. And also set the height. Select the item and let's select camera from here. And for some reason we've got a nested button here, so we'll have to get rid of this button once and again drag another button in. There we've got a bar button item, drag it to the bottom. And let's rename this to tweet. And what we'll do is we'll get rid of this tweet button here. Select the tweet button here and control drag it into the did tap tweet function. Now let's quickly just test this out that this tweet button is still working. So there we have the home view in front of us. If you click the new tweet button here, we see that the toolbar is showing over here. We'll make sure that it's hidden and only shows when you click on the text field. So when you click on the text field, it's not coming up right now, so we can't test this out. So let's fix that and then test it out. So our aim basically is to make this toolbar stick to the keyboard when the keyboard comes up, and it should hide when the keyboard is hidden. So let's first open up the new tweet view controller. Select the toolbar, control drag and create an outlet for it. Let's call it new tweet toolbar. And also what we need is, we need to have the outlet for the bottom constraint of the toolbar. So let's get that. Come into the constraints over here. Here we have the bottom layout guide for the new tweet toolbar. So let's control drag from that. And let's call this toolbar bottom constraint. It's going to be of type ns layout constraint. What we'll also do is we'll create a variable called toolbar bottom constraint initial value. This is basically going to store the initial value of the bottom constraint, and it's going to be of type CG float. Next we'll come to the view did load, and the first thing we want to do is we want to hide the toolbar. So let's say self dot new tweet toolbar dot hidden equal to true. This will ensure that when the new tweet view opens up first, that the toolbar is hidden. Now what we'll have to do is we'll have to pick up the notification of the keyboard opening and closing and call functions for those notifications. So let's create a function here called enable keyboard hide on tap. What we'll do inside this function is we'll set up two observers which will check when the keyboard is shown and when the keyboard is hidden. We're going to use ns notification center dot default center dot add observer. So the first value is going to be self. The selector is going to be the function that's called when this particular notification is sent. So let's say selector and the function will be of the new tweet view controller, and we'll create this function later. It's going to be called keyboard will show. And the name that we're looking for is UI keyboard will show notification, and the object return will be nil. Similarly, we need another notification, which is ns notification center dot default center dot add observer. Again, self. The selector this time will be called of type new tweet view controller dot keyboard will hide. And the name is going to be UI keyboard will hide notification. And again, object is going to be nil. What we're also going to do is we're going to add a tap gesture recognizer to the view. So let's say let tap UI tap gesture recognizer is equal to UI tap gesture recognizer. Target is going to be self, and the action is going to be, again, we'll put in a selector and put in the function of type new tweet view controller, and it will be hide keyboard. You also have to create this function. So let's go ahead and create these functions now. So let's say function keyboard will show. The value we need is we need a notification of type ns notification. So here what we'll do is we'll say let info equal to notification dot user info. And then we'll say let keyboard frame of type cgrect equal to, from the info we'll get the UI keyboard frame end user info key as an ns value, and we'll convert that, and we'll say cgrect value, convert that to a cgrect value. We'll also get the duration that the keyboard takes to show. So we'll say let duration equal to notification dot user info. Inside that we'll go UI keyboard animation duration user info key, and we'll convert that force downcasted to a double. Next we just have to basically animate it. So we'll say UI view dot animate with duration. The time interval will basically be the duration that we got, and the animation that we need to do is we need to move the toolbar up. So it's a self.toolbar bottom constraint dot constant is equal to the keyboard frame dot size dot height. And also we need to make sure that the toolbar is not hidden anymore. So we'll say hidden equal to false. And we'll also call another method of the frame layout, which is called layout if needed. So if it needs, it will expand or contract the layout to make sure that the toolbar is displayed. The next function we need is keyboard will hide, and again we need a notification inside that of type ns notification. In this we'll just get the duration of the keyboard hiding. So we'll say let duration is equal to notification.user info like last time. Go inside, get the UI keyboard duration info key, and again force downcasted as a double. And now we just need to again call the UI animate with duration. The duration is going to be the duration that we just got, and the animation will be self.toolbar bottom constraint dot constant is equal to self.toolbar bottom constraint initial value. We want it to go back to its initial value, and again we wanted to get hidden. So it's a self.new tweet toolbar dot hidden equal to true, and we want to say self.view dot layout if needed. Now the last function that's left is the hide keyboard function. So let's create that as well. Function hide keyboard. All it's going to do is it's going to call the end editing method of the view to ensure that all text fields have been stopped editing. Now we've created these observers here in the keyboard enable keyboard hide on tab, but we need to make sure that we add these observers to the view. So what we'll do is we'll add it inside the view did appear method, and this over here should be keyboard will hide with a capital W. Coming back to the view did appear. So here we'll say enable keyboard hide on tab. What we'll also do is that the initial value variable that we created, we'll give it the value of the toolbar bottom constraint when the view appears. So we'll say self dot toolbar constraint initial value is equal to toolbar bottom constraint dot constant, so that it has an initial value. Okay, so now everything is set up except for one last thing which I forgot earlier. We created this tap gesture recognizer, but we forgot to add this to the view. So we'll say self.view.add gesture recognizer and pass it the value of tap. So now we're good to go. Let's try this out. So let's click on new tweet. There we can see that the UI toolbar is not available right now. Let's click on the text field. The toolbar comes up. Let's type in a new tweet. And let's press the tweet button. There we see the new tweet comes up, the toolbar is hidden, and so is the keyboard. Also, if we tap outside, we see that the keyboard gets hidden along with the toolbar. So in the next video, we'll build on this and allow the user to add photos to their tweet.